Welcome, listeners, to the fourth Xbox Players SA Unplugged podcast. Today we'll be focusing on the normal general topics that it's discussed between CptnKirk, myself, and GlennZA. Then we'll also have the normal fun features where you, the viewer, get to interact with us. And then we'll go into regular segments where we've got a special segment where we get a gamer in that has, their favorite game, and they just get to discuss, the going ons with regard to what, the changes are, what they like and what they don't like of the game. That segment will be called State of the Game. Gentlemen, going into our first topic for the fourth podcast, CD Projekt Red has launched their sales figures up until this year in April. Surprising figures coming out there. Kirk, from your side?
What did they say? 18 plus million copies since launch, making it one of the best selling RPGs ever. I think that's a telltale of what is noise and what is real. They did phenomenal. Their sales calls have been extremely optimistic. And yeah, I'm really happy for them. Look, they dropped the ball. And the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 gamers suffered for it because of promises they made, and I think that's where the real hurt comes from. But they made a great game. I love every second of it. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, Glenn, I think that just goes to show that, whatever bad reception a game might get, as long as the core features are there, as long as it's a fun game to play, as long as it's well developed, it all straightens out in the end.
Percent Ranman. I think really what CDPR did very well was their marketing beforehand. Well, maybe over marketed the game. A lot of hype, a lot of credibility, and they've got a good strong history for storytelling. Just looking at The Witcher and other games that they brought out. But I think a lot of those sales, 2020, December 2020, were a lot of pre-order across all multi-platforms because they try to push the game out to as many players or the player base at launch. And then obviously came the backlash and the feedback and the broken game and the bugs. It wasn't playable, as Yanni said already, on the PS4 and the Xbox One consoles. But the interesting fact, yes, 18.3 million copies sold to date, of which 13 million were launch sales. That is astronomical. Then you look just at the following year, the whole of 2021, they only sold 4 million copies. However, in the state that the game is in now, very playable, latest patch, fixed tons and tons of issues, and there's a lot of good sales happening all around us. I actually see those figures doubling again this year, maybe 8 million copies sold, if not more, for Cyberpunk 2077. The Witcher on its own is a beast complete. Yeah, that is really skyrocketing. It's still going. Sales after year after year after year. So yeah, very well done to CDPR. I'm very excited to see what they got coming. I know that their new engine and everything else that's going to be in-house. Yeah, let's see what's happening.
What surprised me the most is they've also released sales stats for the Witcher series. And, they sold a total of 50 million copies from The Witcher 1 up until Wild Hunt, where the Wild Hunt alone has sold 30 million copies to date. Which just goes to show that even when The Witcher 3 is considered their magnus opus, that The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2 wasn't a failed game at all. They were selling pretty well on their own merit as well.
I'm extremely biased when it comes to The Witcher, especially Witcher 3. It's such an incredible game. So I'm really happy about its sales. It tells a story of how a great game that doesn't age necessarily badly gets a lot of attention after launch, continuous improvement on the game, content, additional content, next generation upgrades. That game still looks so beautiful, and it's so old if you really think about it. I'm happy for them, man.
Speaking about games that's well received, the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which released 2 weeks ago, has now become the best-selling Lego game of all time. Glenn, I don't know what big a fan you are of the Lego games?
A very, very big fan, and I lay this down to my two boys. Obviously, with growing up playing, it was easy to get Lego games for them, and it was something that they picked up and played and mastered back then. So all Lego games, all different genres. It's the Marvels, it's the Pirates of the Caribbean, it's Indiana Jones. It is just something that is so relating to any young kid or even any adult these days. I'm able to pick up a Lego game, smash blocks, um, pick, pick up pieces, and just go through the story. And really, TT Games and Warner Bros have done exceptionally well um, over the years. And it's no surprise that now this is the biggest successful Lego game. And I think it's a franchise that speaks to a bigger, a wider audience than just Lego fans. I think any Star Wars fan out there would have wanted to get their hands on the game and enjoy all 9 iterations in one big bundle. Really, really exciting thing to see coming out of Warner Bros.
CptnKirk, just picking up on what Glenn said there now with the game reaching a wider variety of gamers. With 3.2 million copies sold in the first 2 weeks, this is no longer a kids only game.
Not at all. And I want to reiterate what you just said there. 3.2 million copies in the first 2 weeks. That is massive. That shows a penetration to an exceptional large audience. And I haven't been an avid uh, Star Wars, Lego gamer, right? I played one of their titles and haven't again, and that was quite some time ago. And I cannot wait to get my hands on the Skywalker saga for one very particular reason. Um, Dragon Ball Z's latest game also had a almost recap of the entire series, and that was a really great experience. So to be able to go to a video game with the mechanics and the light-hearted style, but also the very dramatic of the Lego games, I cannot wait to play this title. And I think that's what you both have said. There's this entire new genre of people who's going to pick up a Lego game not because they really care about the fact that it's a Lego game, but they can interactively play that entire story. Wonderful move, great move. I hope the game is great and it has success.
Then moving over to another feel-good story for the video game industry is that Activision Blizzard has announced that their 100 or 1,000 plus quality assurance testers will be moving on from contract basis to full-time basis with additional pays, minimum wage, and unionization. Um, this is surely a good news going forward with Activision Blizzard working on their image, CptnKirk.
H, uh, Ranman, they have to do an exceptional amount of PR, and they also have to have an insane cultural transformation within the company. And one of the first ways, at least from a business perspective, that you have to do is you have to give more of your people a sense of security. Um, so it is a strategic move, and it is definitely something from a PR perspective that they highly require. But I think it is a good move, not just for the business, but also for the employees. Uh, I really want to see what's next. If it's a one hit thing, and we see good decisions being made in the business uh, regularly, or if this is kind of just a one thing just to get some attention. I'm looking forward to see what happens next.
Glenn, this all came, on the back of Raven Software beginning to form a union late last year. And ironically, with this move from Activision Blizzard, Raven Software would legally not be included in this until that segment of the unionization is sorted out. Is this something that might have to be considered in future?
Yeah, anytime that companies or organizations want to start forming unions, there's obviously, if there's smoke, there's fire. It's an interesting development and a story that we're going to watch closely to see how it does unfold. But I just think I do have a soft spot for QAs out there, quality assurance testers in the gaming world. I think they're so overlooked, underrated, and they actually provide such a wonderful service to us as gamers out there to make sure that the design and the intended design is working how it should be. Games are rushed so much these days that we get one patches of 40, 50, 60 gigs because it's all been rushed to get it out. But you got these QA guys, end of the line, testing code, playing games, repeating sequences and scenarios and scenes. But coming back to your question, yeah, let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting development. We've got to see what happens. I really can't say, it may be a bit early to tell. But really, I think it's good to go back to what we started off with packages being offered now to QA testers. It's a step in the right direction, and hopefully you do see it across the board, not just with Activision Blizzard, but more and more companies going globally.
Now onto our interactive feature where you, the listener, get to listen to 2 clips. You get to guess what the game is and test your gaming knowledge against others. First up, name that game. Here it comes. That's the clip. Do you know what it is? Get your answers in the comments. Next up, whose line is it anyway? We're gonna play your line from a famous line from a game. Your job is to guess what game it's from.
The blades are wise not to trust me. Onikan Niov. I would not trust another Dova.
There we go, guys. Get your answers in the comments. Then, gentlemen, moving on to what is becoming my favorite segment is games coming and going, well, coming and leaving Game Pass. We go through this every week and we realize that there's a lot of Game Pass games that we haven't come across or had a chance to try out as yet. Games coming to Game Pass from, now until the end of the month would be 7 Days to Die, which would be coming on the 26th of April, along with Research and Destroy. And then on the 28th, which was, PlayStation's launch title Bugsnax. And then joining that on the 28th would be the Unsold. Any of those 4 games, CptnKirk, you're looking forward to try out?
H, this time around, no. I have not been paying attention to the rest of April's drops. 7 Days to Die is a game that I own. I tried it a little bit, wasn't the one that hit me, and I'm quite a big survival horror kind of fan, but nothing of the rest.
For me, it's Game Pass related titles. I don't have spare moment at this time to pick up another game to try, play, give it a trial. So no, nothing really towards the end of April that's going to be catching my eye to say I must go out there and download it or make space on my hard drive.
From my side, I might be giving 7 Days to Die a proper try. I think I played that in alpha days, and back then it was still very bare bones. But I'd like to see, what has been added since then. And then Bugsnax, I think is a game I might just download just to see what it's all about. But other than that, I think I'm on the same table as you guys. Nothing really sticking out for me. Then on to games leaving from this, end of April is Cricket 2019, which was expected. Outlaws 2, which will be also leaving on the 30th. Secret Neighbor, which is joining Streets of Rage 4 on the 30th as well. I'm not sure if any of those games you guys will be missing.
Not that I would be missing it, Ranman, but I definitely think if someone hasn't had the time to play Outlaws 2, there's a few days left. Download it. It's scary. It's very scary. Disclaimer, but I think it's something you should try, even if it's just for 15 minutes and then it's done. It's really well made, that game, and you should try it out.
We've had some fun with Secret Neighbor in the past. It was also a Playdate once or twice. Yeah, if you can, for the remainder of this month, get it downloaded, play with your friends. I think it's also a small download; it's nothing big. Quick, easy to play, lots of fun.
Then we get to move on to Glenn's exclusive segment, which is Xbox Playdates playlist. Glenn, anything looking forward for the last couple of weeks in April?
I can't believe April's coming to an end already. It's just when you start putting games in your map, what you're playing over a weekly period, you just see how fast time is moving. So we've got Imola for Forza Friday. For F1 this coming Friday, we're doing Italy, load shedding dependent. So fingers crossed here that load shedding won't affect us. Normally when that does happen, it just gets postponed to the following week. And then the last Wednesday of the month, Playdate at 8, will be Apex Legends. But we have managed to secure a custom tournament code. So we can actually host a game for South Africans only, or just for the Xbox Playdates or Xbox Players members. So yeah, it's come join us next week, Wednesday. Find out who's the best Apex player in South Africa at the moment.
Something else to look forward to is Xbox Players SA's own little jam session with Fortnite Noble mode coming in the end of this month. Kirk, anything you want to add to that?
It's going to be fun. It's been some time since we fired up the Xbox Players SA Fortnite Discord, and Glenn is going to be helping us out with a custom match, and we'd love people to come and join us. And it's not specific platform focus. Xbox Players SA want to reach out to cross-platform and invite people to play with us. It is Fortnite. It is no builds. It's going to be crazy. We're really looking forward to it.
Fantastic, looking forward. And now for the newest section that's added to the podcast is what we are going to call State of the Game. Simon reached out to us a couple of weeks ago where he said he wants to come on, he wants to talk about Halo Infinite because he's got things to say. Simon, welcome to the podcast.
Hi guys, thank you very much for having me.
So Simon, you are an avid Halo Infinite player. Tell us, what is the state of the game at the moment? Where are we in with regards to when it launched up until where it is now?
Well, Herman, let me just quickly give you guys some background on my journey with Halo. Because so I get some legitimacy when I talk. I've been playing Halo since 2001. The OG Xbox came out, my cousin bought it, started playing Halo, Combat Evolved. Geez, I remember how many evenings staying over at my cousin's house, myself, my cousin, his brother, and my uncle. Funny enough, he was in his 50s already, but the four of us co-opting, playing Halo multiplayer, doing obviously the Halo campaigns on multiplayer, two players at a time, co-op. Been a massive Halo fan since then. Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. When PT Games launched Halo 3 in Tiger Valley, the midnight launch, came second in the Halo tournament they had. So yeah, I've been around the block of Halo, obviously ODST, Reach, 4, Halo Guardians, and now Halo Infinite. And I've got some things on my chest. I'm a bit disappointed with Halo Infinite, if I have to be honest. Okay, cool. Let's talk about Halo. The multiplayer is a very solid multiplayer, but I think it's lacking a lot of content. I remember when Halo Infinite was first launched and they came out with the information with regards to multiplayer. I mean, just quickly, customization options that they gave us were supposed to be plenty, and they made a big deal of it having a lot of combinations, infinite combinations, if I can put it like that. Obviously, what's the situation at this stage? We've got the armor cores. You've got 3 armor cores, but on unlocks you have the different armor parts, the camos, like I said, the color combinations, etc. It's not transferable between the different armor cores. Gameplay is pretty boring at this stage. I mean, I finished season 1 at the beginning of January. Granted, I did have some time spare time on my hands over December, so I could grind a bit. But I mean, I've been on season 1 now since end of January. I've completed it, and only season 2 is starting in May. Obviously, the first season 2 was delayed with 3 months, but it also seems like season 3 will be delayed also with 3 months. So season 2 will run for 6 months. Co-op for single player still seems to will be delayed till season 3 at this stage. And honestly, I don't know how they actually thought they were going to make co-op play work in Halo Infinite. With it being an open world, I mean Halo 1, 2. Well, since Halo Combat Evolved till up Guardians, you can just jump in 2 players at a time because it's mission based, certain missions. But how do you make that work in an open world game, especially with a game like Halo? So it's a bit of a difficult one at this stage. It's not a good state to be in.
Simon, I saw a video inside the last 5 days, and this guy, it's just one person, but he's playing like he's both the intern at 343 and the boss at 343, and then the intern says, "Can we add more maps?" And then the boss says, "No, no, 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 we're not gonna add any more maps." And he's like, "Why don't we add Forge and have the players make their own play styles, and then we don't even have to have a lot of people a year anymore working. You know, the players will do all the work." And the boss says, "Yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea, but no, 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 we shouldn't do that." And the guy is like, "Well, I don't really know what else we can do." And the boss says, "Well, what about a Halo cookbook?" And the intern is like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's already out. And there's this official cookbook, but no new maps, no Forge. This must be is it like a betrayal to the OG hardcore Halo gamers, Simon, or what is the emotions that you're experiencing?"
Yanni, funny enough, if you look at maps, I mean, if I think back playing Halo 1, Blood Gulch, Sidewinder, Halo 2, there was some iconic maps, Zanzibar. I mean, climbing into the Warthog, as the two players on a team climbing, one running, one driving, one gunning. I mean, Halo Season 2, 2 new maps for Big Team Battle, one for 4v4. I mean, how difficult is it to create new maps for the current game? Is the software they're using or the hardware they're using that difficult? I mean, they can just rehash some old maps. I mean, there's plenty of maps. If you go from Halo Combat Evolved, that's pulled right through to Halo Guardians. It's been used, obviously edited, expanded on a bit, changed a bit. But I mean, can't they do that in Halo Infinite? A cookbook, I mean, what's the recipes? How to warm up MREs? I'm not, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it's a frustrating, it's very frustrating time being a Halo fan. I mean, I've been a Halo fan for 21 years, but seeing the state it is, and the potential that this game does have, yeah, it makes a person want to throw an Xbox controller through a TV, but I mean, those things are expensive for both the controller and the TV, so I think the hardcore gamers, Halo fans, are keeping it in, but I don't know for how much longer. I mean, I haven't put on the game. I've probably went to the game once over the last month just to see what's going on. I played two games, and I got bored with it. It's the same old maps I've been playing since the December. That's not just. It's not. Nothing is keeping me wanting to, and is making me want to come back to the game at this stage. 2 weeks ago, I booted up a Master Chief Collection again, played a couple of games, and it was so easy, so much fun. I mean, I don't know what the player base in the comparing between Halo Infinite and Master Chief Collection is, but I mean, it's just way more fun playing Master Chief Collection with all different variations, 1v1, 2v2. Obviously, it was 12 versus 12. The type of different matchups, type of games you can have. SWAT, Big Team Battle, King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, Oddball, all of those, and then compared to Halo Infinite, it's frustrating. Let's just say again, it's a very frustrating time to be a Halo fan.
Are we seeing anything out there from 343? Are we getting anything from Microsoft Studios? I don't think their blog is very active. Their Twitter and social media channels is quite quiet. But just for you as a fan, are you getting any feedback as to say what the delays are or why there's been such a massive delay for the seasons?
Actually, not really. I do follow them on Instagram and on Facebook as well. You get some information when there's a new season or a weekly event like we had with the what's the Samurai pack we had, but nothing that really explains it. I think they've been probably. Well, I saw today the issue between Marty O'Donnell and Mike Salvatore and Microsoft was resolved with regards to the rights for the music. Maybe that kept them back. Apparently, that was could also have derailed or delayed the launch of the Halo TV series on Paramount. So maybe something a bit more information will come out, and obviously will loosen them up to develop more. I would love to see Marty O'Donnell and Mike Salvatore collaboration with 343 Studios to expand on Halo. I know Marty was very involved with not just on the music side, but as far as I know, with the production of Halo 1 through to Reach. So maybe there's opportunity for them to bring in some of the old school guys that played a key role in the Halo franchise's development while it was Bungie, to bring them in and see what they can do. Yes.
Sorry, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, and could be the white elephant in the room. Do you think it might have a spin-off with them going free to play multiplayer? So they obviously haven't charged for the multiplayer side of things. So it's a free-to-play game that won't have to give it as much attention or content to it because the players haven't gone out and purchased it.
Well, it could possibly be, but if they didn't have to, I would be more than happy to pay for a map pack. I mean, when Halo 2 came out originally, where you had X amount of maps, and then they brought out a separate DVD or game that you could add-on you could buy. I think it's like 4 or 5 maps. I think one of those maps was the swamp map in Halo 2 that came out. You had that center station with the swamp around it that gave you off the same vibes from Halo, the first mission in Halo Combat Evolved where you encountered the Flood. I mean, I paid money for that. It's a map pack, make it say $10 or $15 or whatever, or $150, and give us 5 maps. Make it 2 big team battle maps and another 3 smaller maps, and then do that again in 6 months' time. I wouldn't mind paying for that if it extends my enjoyment of the game. Do it every 6 months. I wouldn't mind for that. I'm just thinking, I don't want to pay for armor customization sets of wearing a pineapple on my shoulder that's supposed to be grenades. I mean, but I'm willing to pay for maps.
Yeah, it's very well said. And me coming from being a very diehard Red Dead fan, and obviously there's no content for us for the past few years in Red Dead Online, I can sympathize with the Halo fans and the Halo players out there. I enjoyed Halo a lot. Infinite launched, we had playdates, as you know. Our playdates were full. We had local lobbies, maximum, every time we played. But slowly over time, as we played more and more, we saw the drop-off. Players didn't join. Because again, that's where you say it's boring, it's stale, it's the same map, same weapon, same ammo. Yeah, that definitely needs a refresh, and I think just more regularly. The seasons can't be that long. And sure, yes, the software, the developers do have issues to get through. And I think 2 years now, working under COVID and lockdown pandemics, companies have managed to get that right. So there shouldn't be any further delays in releasing of software.
Yeah. If I can just add a couple more things with regards to the campaign. You know, Halo is known for the vast environments. I mean, Halo Infinite, what do we have? We have battles on the Covenant ships. We have a few forerunner structures. That's a lot of blue lights. And then you have the vast open plains and some cliffs with a lot of pine forest. I mean, if you think back to Halo 1, had the big open expanded areas in the second mission where you have to rescue the Marines. You had the big snow map at the snow maps at the end. You had Halo 3. You jumped from the the spaceship the UNSC uses. But I mean, you get to a massive desert area. Halo, you get the swamps, etc. Halo Infinite has just been the same terrain all over the place. It is boring. I mean, the open world setup, I didn't enjoy that. That's what initially I did enjoy it, but I fought back to it. Every time you want to go do a mission, what did I do? I went to the outpost, I selected the battle rifle and the commando rifle, or I selected the battle rifle and the sniper rifle, and I didn't have real issues with dealing with enemies. Halo, one of the core things from Halo 2, and it evolved the first-person shooter genre. It was the first game that you only could select 2 weapons. Carry one, and you have your backup you have to carry. You you have to conserve your ammo. You have to decide which is the right weapon. If you decide to use a pistol, taking on the Magnum, taking on the Flood in Halo Combat Evolved, you've been lost. Use the plasma pistol, a lot more effective against the Flood. You always have to find that sweet balance, the right mixture of guns, and obviously conserve your ammo, deciding which weapons to use on which enemies. I mean, the mini bosses in Halo Infinite, all I did every time was I climbed into a wasp after I unlocked the wasp at the outpost, flew to the mini bosses, killed all the soldiers around them, shot them with the wasp, with the rockets or the minigun. I mean, it was boring in that regard. I would really like them to go back to a more linear gameplay. Should we get a follow-up from Halo Infinite? The open world experiment was fun, but I think it didn't work. And I don't see Halo Infinite having as much legs as we had with the previous Halo games. I mean, Halo Combat Evolved 2 and 3 and Reach, I probably played every game at least 20 times, if not more. I haven't had one instance where I wanted to go, geez, I should boot up Halo Infinite again and start playing it again. Unfortunately, the game is a bit of a fail for me. Fun game, but once and done, I'm thinking.
All right, gentlemen. So we've come to the end of the show. This is the part where I get to go down the list and just ask you guys what you are playing at the moment. CptnKirk?
Right now, I am back in Mass Effect on Insanity difficulty, and I am slowly but surely getting into Elden Ring, having fun with that as well. And just Simon, thank you, man. That was cool.
Glenn?
I think this little section of mine or segment for the next couple of months, Ranman, you can just record and copy paste each podcast. I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm stuck in the lands between. Just before I came to the show tonight, I had a look. I've notched up 650 hours in the game since launch. Starting my third character. I went through as a mage, my first character. Then I did melee, focused on dexterity, and now I'm going to be doing a full strength build, looking like a dwarf with two big crushes. Yeah, I'm currently full-time in Elden Ring. I can't get enough of it. And then obviously between Playdates, Monday Minecraft, a bit of GTA every now and then. Yeah, that's currently what's ticking me over.
Simon, what are you busy playing at the moment?
Herman, sad to say, I haven't really played any games in the last 2 months, or 3 months actually. I was busy doing the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm almost done with Mass Effect 2, but I probably need to sink in another 10 or 15 hours into that. Obviously, getting all the side missions done, exploring all the planets, and then on to the main mission, the last main mission, to attack the Reapers, ne? And then it will be a Mass Effect 3, but at this stage, we're keeping me so busy, and hours really don't have energy for games at the moment. Like I said, here and there, I do get stuck into, or try to get stuck back in. I would really like to get some time to just play some proper Xbox. And then I told myself, Elden Ring, I'll tackle that when I get the Xbox Series X. I'm still on, or not the OG, but the Xbox One. So yeah, as soon as I upgrade, I'll definitely take a walk in the lands in between. But I also need to get some more patience, because I know that game will be testing my patience a lot.
It definitely will. From my side, I think I'm with Simon as well. Between work and being sick, I am at the moment, since leaving Elden Ring, I am gameless at the moment. And I don't know if it's because I left a great game behind or if I'm just trying to follow up from the steps from being maidenless to being gameless. But yeah, I'm currently looking at a game to get stuck into again. Gentlemen, anything from your side until next podcast, which would be in 2 weeks' time? CptnKirk?
Sorry for that delay. Nothing from me, Herman. I'm still really looking forward to some proper news on new games. As we are approaching May, I'm starting to get the feeling for all the publishers and all the OEMs like Xbox to announce something that's going to be replacing the E3 spot. Normally, about this time, I'd start getting ready for E3. That not really happening. I'm hoping for some digital content from everyone, and I think I'm just going to start ramping up my own personal hype in that regard from here on out.
Close off with, join us for the Fortnite Zero build this weekend. Look out for details in the group. It should be under jam sessions there. Andre has posted the link to details. Saturday, we'll be playing some Fortnite Zero build. Find our group's best Zero build or Bob the No Builder Fortnite player.
That's it. So from RanmanZA and myself, CptnKirk, GlennZA and Uysberg86, we're out. Thanks for listening.